Shalom, brothers and sisters, shalom. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator, the Maker of heaven and earth. My name is Yeshaya Yisrael, of the tribe of Dan of the nation of Israel. This particular presentation, brothers and sisters, we do not intend for it to be long. We intend, brothers and sisters, to bring this out to the people and for those who are interested. We hope and pray that everybody is well and will be better. We ask you all to comment, like, share, and subscribe. We ask you to click like, brothers and sisters, and subscribe to the channel. We are on the channels, Mordeh Yeshaya History Lessons, as well as Mordeh Yeshaya Torah Lessons. So, brothers and sisters, also in the Facebook page, Yeshaya Author Narrates. So, brothers and sisters, without any further ado, we hope and pray, again, that everybody is well and will be better. If I can be heard well and people are in good spirits, I'm asking you to type in the number 4. If I can be heard well and people are in good spirits, asking you to type in the number 4. Thank you for that. This may be an unusual time, brothers and sisters, to sit there and get into this, but we want to do so with hopefully the blessing of the Most High God. We asking you again to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for that, brothers and sisters. Without any further ado, let us pull up, if we will, brothers and sisters, the PowerPoint and start in this manner. Thank you for that. The books on sale regarding Black History Month. Thank you for that, brothers and sisters. About us. We give thanks to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We hope and pray that you all are well and will be better. This is presented to you all from Danitepublications. We are dedicated to help setting truth back in the earth. The purpose of this presentation is to let you all know that there is a book sale on the history books regarding Black History Month. Brothers and sisters, thank you for that. While we know BHM, Black History Month, is not to be marginalized to just February, we want to take advantage of the fact that many are hearing more than before the matter of BH. And by BH, I mean Black History. So what we want to do is promote, share the book, and show about the book sale that we're talking about. Thank you for that. Product overview. What you're seeing there is a picture of myself, and next to it is the logo called Danitepublications. That is also a website for those who are interested where you can pick up products as well. Thank you for that. Point. Danitepublications started officially in 2015 when one was 35 years old. At that time, one was featured on different platforms like South Showtime and DT4U, meaning Debate Talk for You, as well as a channel called Maccabees TV. Having, however, started my own channel in 2014, I was focused on others' platforms until 2018, when I began to write independent Hebrew books. So, brothers and sisters, I want to state that in part, it was, you might say, a transition, and there's no disrespect intended, where one went from having his own particular YouTube channel, which was and is Mordeh Yeshaya Torah Lessons, to having other channels. I was featured on different channels. I've been inside of different congregations and have taught regarding history, regarding law, regarding the language, and so forth and so on. And with all of that, on a greater level, giving honor and praise to the Most High for such. On a human level, giving honor to my teachers, which I do quite often. So, brothers and sisters, this is something we care to point out and bring out for edification purposes. The first history book is Egypt Talking Writing, which was followed by Deuteronomy 28, History Untold to the Masses. This was followed by From Assyria to America, which has a part 2 to it. Finally, there is a book, Israelite History as it relates to the world. So, brothers and sisters, these are the books that we're going to be talking about in this matter and in this presentation, if we will. All right. Shalom, my brother. Y4T, the royal family. Shalom, Ak. If I can be heard well and people in good spirits, please type in the number 4. Thank you for that, family. Brothers and sisters, again, this is on the channel Maury Yeshaya Torah Lessons, as well as Maury Yeshaya History Lessons, as well as the Facebook page, Brothers and Sisters, Yeshaya Author Danite. All right? Thank you for that, family, in that particular case. So, we do not profess to know everything, and we are open to constructive criticism. We can be reached at the number 908-587-4841. And brothers and sisters, I can be reached by text, WhatsApp, or by calling regular. All right? So just want to point that out for reference purposes. Let us continue. Thank you for your time. Product benefits. The books are presented from a collegiate point of view, while at the same time not trying to lose the focus of the youth. While some of the words are harsh, what is deemed as profanity is not supported in the literature. The reader of the book is taken from where each book's point of view is from the beginning of the point to the resolution. One will be able to use the material found in the literature for school pages. What do I mean by that? You can take this, as the saying goes, to the bank. You can take this information that you will see in these books and use it for college papers, for high school papers, for junior high school papers, if you will. Now, I know that when you are an author out there, at times people might sit there and take your book and sell it on their own platform. That does happen. What happens in cases like that, you can actually, as an author, contact him or her and ask them to not do so. Sidebar, to the people who do that, you will sit there and see that you, the author, still get revenue because they still got to go through your own website or through your own Amazon or through your own platform or through your own, whatever you may use to sit there and have it out there for the people to sit there and get that. So just want to point that out for reference purposes. Shalom, my lady. Shalom, Salah. How you doing? So, brothers and sisters, and giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator, the Maker of heaven and earth. While our people are into hearing more of our history, more so than maybe at other times, we want to, and respect, brothers and sisters, take advantage of that. Now, I'm not saying to, quote, take advantage of people. I'm not saying to try to swindle or mentally manipulate people, but rather, brothers and sisters, just for the sake of getting this information out to the people, is something that we care to do. All right? So let us, brothers and sisters, in this particular manner, continue in this same vein. Thank you for that. Our competition. While Danitepublications is not based on debate purposes, it is the goal of the company to help set truth back in the earth. Therefore, the layers of lies that have been presented are shattered. This is not to say that the company, Danitepublications, is not above reproach and that we are open to correction. It is, however, to say that careful and reliable information is what we present. We attempt to bring material that is not commonly known, thus the subtitle, History Untold to the Masses. It is not the goal of Danitepublications, brothers and sisters, to tell people to forget what you've been taught and then to start over. No. Take what you've been taught and we hope to add to it, brothers and sisters. That is more so the goal of this particular platform, if we will. So let us, brothers and sisters, continue in this matter. All right. Thank you for that in that particular case. Again, we hope and pray that everybody is well and will be better. We again are on the platforms Maury Yeshaya History Lessons, Maury Yeshaya Torah Lessons, and the Facebook page Yeshaya Author Danite. All right. Thank you for that, family, in that particular case. Let us continue. Thank you. Example is the fact that the Irish in the 17th century spoke of the captives they had were of the tribe of Judah. Now, brothers and sisters, that statement right there has been presented, if we will, inside the book, brothers and sisters, Deuteronomy 28:15-68, History Untold to the Masses. All right? That is where that particular information is presented in that particular case. All right? Thank you for that. So we are not combative, but rather objective, and we hope everyone is well and will be better. Thank you for that, family. Let's continue. Product overview. The cover was made by Chief Naphtali Ben Dan of the congregation DCB. The book is over 300 pages and has 2 appendixes. The book covers matters of the not detailed translations into the English text, as well as a glossary for Hebrew seekers. Now, what do I mean by that? In that book there is a part that certain words in Deuteronomy 28 that's translated as perish or destroy is taken from a Hebrew context and shown how the translation is either accurate or not as quote accurate. All right. Just want to point that out for reference purposes. There is a timeline in the book that is second to none, which is in chapter 6 of the book. The authors cover the timing of the Bible, speaks of from Sumer to the fall of Persia, and picks up where the Greco-Roman empires led to the hegemony of the Americans. So what am I saying by that in that particular case? And there's something else I need to explain with the wording there. When I state the authors cover the timing, I wrote this as a single person. In one context, with a Hebraic mind as Yeshaya, the other context, and wanted to reach my brothers and sisters who don't claim to be Hebrew, as Vincent, and giving honor to my father, may he rest in peace. So this is what I mean when I say that in that particular case. All right? Now, Sumer predated the house of Israel. Just want to point that out. To the fall of Persia, the last kings that you see in the scriptures, and by that I mean the Old Testament, is that of the Persian Empire. It picks up with a Greco-Roman, that's to say with a Greek empire of Europe comes into play, then Rome. Empires, which they call the cradle of Western civilization, goes back, correct me if I'm wrong, to Greece and Rome. All right? To the hegemony of the Americans. By the Americans, I mean what happened in what they call Spanish America. The situation and why you might see the president of Mexico telling Trump, you can build a wall as long as you give us back Texas. You will have to know the history of what happened with the American-Mexican War in the 1840s to know where that gentleman was coming from in that particular case. Once it comes down to the matter of what happened with the Louisiana Purchase with Napoleon and the matter with Thomas Jefferson, the fact of Thomas Jefferson being a slave master, and how all of this correlates in what happened with us as a people and where we as a people fit in that particular case. So that is part of what the book talks about in that case there. All right, let's continue. Thank you. Product overview. This is presented to you all. While it is named from Assyria to America, the content of the book starts in Egypt from America, then picks up from where Assyria comes to power, while all along showing the influence of the nations on the Israelites. Now, what do I mean by that? In the Bible, in Ezekiel 23, it talks about how the nations in Israel was doting on the nations, be it Assyria, be it Babylon, and how they influenced the Israelites in certain things that were not good. While some have asked, what did the Israelites contribute to society? We admit the Israelites fell short of their intended creation, yet produced some of the best records we have to date, the scriptures. What do we mean by that? Brothers and sisters, do you know that archaeologists and sociologists and historians use the book of Genesis to sit there when they do their investigative discoveries Do you know that they use that, brothers and sisters, as a form of linguistics? Did you know that at one point, sidebar, that Hebrew was going to be the national language of the United States? Brothers and sisters, some of these kind of facts is pointing out in these books that you see that a brother wrote, giving honor to the Most High. Let's continue, family. Thank you for that. Product overview. This book was completed February 1st, 2021 in commemoration of BHM, Black History Month. The genre of the book is to bring out that the history of the Israelites is definitely intertwined in the history of the world. The Israelite tribe of Dan is focused on in this book and where they migrated to, because we want to point out that there is a tribe in Western Africa that calls themselves Dan. All right. Also, there is a portion of this book that speak on why the Egyptian ships in Deuteronomy 28 is of the Atlantic slave trade. There too is a timeline of the captors of the Israelites. What do I mean by that? From the timing, brothers and sisters, of when you had it to where Assyria were the captors of the Israelites, all the way down to the people who got rid of the Moors in Spain, being Isabel and Ferdinand. There's a timeline of all of those different people and what impact did they have on the Israelites and so forth. So this is what I mean when I say showing the history of the Israelites that's not presently or currently or mainly spoken upon. All right. So just want to point that out. Thank you for that with the timing allotted. Egypt talking writing. This was the first book a brother wrote. The reason was because many were doing what they call coming for the Israelites. Due to the claims that the Exodus is a myth and the enslavement of the Israelites is not factual, it became incumbent to bring this material out. Sources are cited from different references. Many of the citations come from encyclopedias and journals that speak of the authenticity, of the biblical account of the Exodus. Brothers and sisters, I want to say that nobody makes up a story of being enslaved. Being enslaved means that you got humbled, defeated, you was made to kowtow. Nobody sits there and makes up that kind of story. For instance, when you look at a job resume and it says what qualifications and what experiences do you have, if you come from a job you didn't like, you don't sit there and put that on your resume. You don't sit there and say that the manager was a fool. You don't sit there and say that the supervisor was an idiot. You don't sit there and say that I insulted my own intelligence spending all that time at that kind of job. You don't say that on your resume. Why? Because that might not be something that you want to carry on. That might not be something that you want even known, brothers and sisters. But now, when we deal with the enslavement of the Israelites in the scriptures, we know good and well that, again, nobody makes up something of that kind of nature. So these are things we care to point out. Sidebar, concerning, say, the diaspora of the Israelites. If the Israelites were going to Egypt for secure matters, for being in a matter of being safe, why would they go to Europe all of a sudden when the Greek and Roman came into power? Brothers and sisters, when people move into somewhere, they generally go into what they are familiar with. So the Israelites, in leaving their own homeland, will go, like anyone else, into places where they were familiar with. So if you have Solomon marrying an African woman of the house of Egypt, if you have brothers and sisters, Zerah of the Ethiopians and the tribe of Judah, whether they were friends or not, having communication with each other, if you have it, brothers and sisters, to where Taharka is mentioned in the scriptures, and he was ruling in Egypt in the dynasty 25 of Egypt, and he's definitely in history, we can see how the history ties in, and that is some of the stuff that these books get into for reference purposes. Product overview. This book, having less than 10 chapters and more than 50 sources, was put together to show the connection of the Israelites in the world after the fall of the Assyrian Empire. Not copying the style of the book a brother wrote from Assyria to America, this book has citations from kings to slaves that speak on the reality of the Israelites. What do I mean about from kings? Whether the kings of Egypt, the kings of Assyria, the kings of Babylon, the kings of Media, Persia. to the people who were slaves that spoke of the Habiru. Be it the king of Moab that spoke about the tribe of Gad and the house of Israel. Be it the Assyrians that spoke about defeating the Israelites. And the Israelites in their scriptures, in their records, in their writings speak about being defeated. So brothers and sisters, if you have the Assyrians, for instance, talking about defeating the Israelites, and you got the Israelites talking about that they were defeated by the Assyrians, I can rest my head assured that neither one is making up that kind of situation. The cover was made by the wife of a brother who I have respect for. They are online by the name Bayith Mazan. Now, brothers and sisters, this brother's wife has made this cover and many of the other covers, the flyers that a brother uses and so forth. So definitely want to show support to our people in business. Let's continue, if we will. Why a book sale? February 2024 is the month that many Black people are attentive to hear about Black history. We are Israelites. Okay, we the Israelites, pardon me, care to bring what information we have to the masses by way of literature. We intend that our writings will outlive our current lives and thus help the future generations. History has been presented as boring to some and unnecessary to study by others. Yet we want to point out that not only is history necessary, it is also fun. Not funny, at times sad, but fun to know. So brothers and sisters, these are things, again, we care to bring out for reference purposes. Thank you for that. Thank you for the time. Yeshaya, my number, 908-587-4841. Email, yyisrael@yahoo.com. Website, www.Danitepublications.com. So brothers and sisters, these books, and thank you for staying in tune as we close out this particular presentation, right, are all online for the price of $15 each. This is 15. 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 So essentially, for these 5 books online on Amazon, you can get these for less than $100 as a set for those who are interested. I want to say, if I could call it real quick, a fun fact about this book here, From Assyria to America. There's a part in it called From Dahomey, a tribe, to Delaware, which is a state in the United States. From Ghana to Georgia, from Nigeria to Niagara. And brothers and sisters, those are some of the chapters in that book. In this book, there's a chapter called From Angola to Arkansas. But that chapter from Angola to Arkansas was supposed to be part of the book From Assyria to America, Part 1. So I may want to be silly and call it a fun fact, but when it was published, I realized there was a whole other chapter that I meant to put in there, so I put it in this one. Brothers and sisters, on a human level, I want to give honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator, the Maker of heaven and earth, for having the lady in my life, Sarai, who encourages, endorses, supports, and gives constructive criticism. I definitely am a better man for having her in my life. And I will always respect the union that I'm in this particular manner. Brothers and sisters, as you can see, the number is across the screen, 908-587-4841. We are going to close this particular presentation out, brothers and sisters, and we hope and pray again that everybody is well and will be better. Thank you for that, family.